Morning, brothers and sisters. Welcome to Morning Delight. Let us first start off with the greetings to our heavenly parents and true parents. 충신, 충분하게, 경배, 바로. Now we listen to a recording of the family pledge.
가정 맹세 1. 한여극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 찬여극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 중심, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 천여국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과 황족권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 찬여극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 찬여극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 찬여극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 찬여극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 찬여극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 찬여극 시대를 맞이하여 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상 천국과 천상 천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Milhan. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, brothers and sisters. I would like to ask Hyo-Jung from the Meow Pad to go give us a prayer. Are you there, Hyo-Jung?
I'm here.
Yes.
Our dear Heavenly Parents, thank you for the beautiful day and night that we have, and thank you, God, that we have a beautiful morning devotion that we have, because this is the young stream, but it's still continuing, but we should thank God that we have this. Thank you. Aju.
Aju. Thank you so much. Hyo-Jung, you're total inspiration to all of us. Keep going. So now we're going to go into the breakout rooms for about 5 minutes and share our gratitudes. Welcome back, everybody. We were in a room with 4 of us, and then we were suddenly 2. So Tomik-san was cut off, but then Reverend Dase was sharing about a birthday party. I would like to ask him to give testimony about that or his gratitude.
Okay, good morning. Yeah, I'm grateful. Yeah, I was saying that I'm grateful for yesterday. Yesterday we had a birthday party for my daughter, a 5th year birthday party. So it was very celebratory for her because she also graduated yesterday from her pre-K school, from pre-K. So they really coupled the celebration at school there with her birthday party. So they celebrated her at school and for the graduation and also for the birthday party. And her mom also prepared a lot of gifts. When she went to school, she gave a gift to all her classmates.
Amazing.
And I thought that was really highly appreciated. And then when she left school, then she went to the daycare. Daycare people wanted to celebrate that too, a 5th year birthday. So she went there, she spent the whole afternoon with them. So after that, she came at home here, and my wife also took the time to really decorate the house and really prepare that celebration. Very nice. I myself, I was really surprised, amazed to see how much effort she put in that celebration. So yeah, I'm very grateful, even though I did not do much in terms of preparation, but really it was highly celebrated here. Yeah,
Wow.
very grateful for that, and I'm grateful, of course, for today also as we are heading to Belvedere soon. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, belated happy birthday to your daughter, 5 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, from all of
Thank
us.
you.
Okay.
Thank
So this
you.
is four celebrations yesterday, 5th one today. So for the 5th birthday, 5 celebrations. God bless you.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Heaven.
Thank you.
And then your daughter is true to form, like you are the pastor of Flushing, the Queens, and she's giving gifts to everybody, just like you. God bless you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, let's go to our Audible reading of True Mother's memoir.
Welcome to Mother of Peace, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. A memoir by Hak Jahan Moon, a production of the Washington Times Global Media Group, narrated by Alison Hiroto. One day, out of the blue, my mother asked me, "Do you know how you cried when you were born?" "I was a little baby," I replied, "so I must have cried, wah." "No, you didn't," she said. "You cried, la 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 la, as if you were singing. Your grandmother said, 'Perhaps this child is going to grow up to become a musician.' I engraved her words in my heart, for I thought they might symbolize my future. However, my mother was not done telling me about my infancy. She said that after she ate her first bowl of seaweed soup, the traditional meal for a mother after childbirth, she cradled me in her arms and fell asleep. As she dreamed, she saw Satan, a monstrous demon, appear before her. He shouted so loudly that even the mountains and streams rang with his fearsome voice. "If I let this baby be, the world will be in danger," he yelled. "I must do away with her right now." Suddenly, he made as if to strike me. My mother held me closely and cast upon him all her energy to declare his defeat. "Satan, be gone at once," she said fiercely. "How dare you try to hurt her when she is the most precious child to heaven? I cast you out in the name of the Lord. Get out of my presence. You have no right to be here. Heaven has claimed this child, and your days of power have come to an end." Mother was shouting so loudly that my grandmother rushed into the room and shook her. She collected herself, looked deeply into my face, and searched her heart for the reason Satan was trying to strike me. She took this experience as a sign that I was destined to strike the head of the serpent. And this was the answer to her and my grandmother's prayers. "I must raise this child with complete devotion," my mother vowed to herself. "I will raise her to become a pure and beautiful girl for the Lord and protect her from the pollution of the secular world." About a month later, she had another dream. This time, a heavenly angel, dressed in shimmering white, came to her on a sunlit cloud. "Sune," the angel spoke, "I am sure you must feel incapable to prepare this baby for the service that our Heavenly Father has in mind. But don't be. This baby is the daughter of the Lord, and you are her nanny. Please devote all your energies to raising her with absolute faith, love, and obedience." Satan, however, did not give up. Until we left North Korea, he would appear in Mother's dreams, looking hideous and voicing threats, both dramatic and subtle. Mother fought hard to protect me over a number of years. When I heard about these dreams from my mother, I became very serious. Why was Satan trying to hurt me? And why did he keep stalking me? I wondered. My father played an essential role. "All right, from now on you should wear these when you go out," my maternal grandfather told me. I looked at the strange footwear and asked, "What are these?" "They are called high heels," he said. During the Japanese colonial rule in Korea, Western fashions, such as high heels, were almost never seen in rural areas. My grandfather, Hung Yuil, however, was an enlightened gentleman who welcomed modern things. He personally had gone into the city and bought high heels for all the women in his family. He was tall, friendly, and handsome, and everyone highly respected his progressive thinking. Even though he had grown up in a household of strict Confucian tradition, he was ahead of his time. Interestingly, when I met Father Moon for the first time, I thought in my heart that he resembled my grandfather. That was one reason I could feel at ease with Father Moon when I first met him, even though I was only 13. He was not a stranger to me. My maternal grandmother, Jo Hwan-mo, was a petite woman with beautiful features. In addition to being a devout Christian, she was industrious and active. She made a living by running a small business called the Pyongan store, selling and repairing sewing machines. At the time, sewing machines were expensive, and they were considered the most important part of a bride's trousseau. Townspeople admired my grandmother for giving big discounts to the families of new brides and for setting up payment plans, something unheard of back then. Grandmother used to go from village to village to collect the monthly payments, carrying me on her back. I first experienced the wider world on those excursions. My grandfather's family moved from Cheongju, which is my husband's hometown, and crossed the Cheongchon River to the town of Anju, to be precise, Shinwi, a village in the town of Anju. My mother inherited grandmother Jo Hwan-mo's devout faith. They attended a local Presbyterian church in Anju until she was age 19. The pastor of that church actually gave my mother her name, Hong Sune. My mother studied at Anju Grade School and, in 1936, graduated from a Christian mission school called Pyongyang Saints Academy. My parents were married in the New Jesus Church on March 5, 1934, and I, their first and only child, was born in 1943, 9 years later. That unusually long interval elapsed not because my parents were infertile, but because they were living separately, each engrossed in their lives of faith, and, for my father, his career as an educator. He taught in Yongbuk County, Honghui Province, which was some distance from my maternal home, and my mother did not want to move there. My mother's intense devotion to Jesus led her to focus all her time and attention on her church work. There was another reason as well. My maternal grandparents, the Hongs, wished to make my father, Han Sung-un, their heir. But he did not accept it. As the eldest son of the Han family, his parents did not allow him to put his roots down in his wife's home. So she would not move in with him, nor him with her. But God wanted me to be born, and so I arrived in my grandparents' home in Shinwiri, Anju. I grew up there and came to accept God quite naturally. In 1945, when Korea regained its independence, the great powers divided our peninsula at the 38th parallel, and soon the joy of having our country back turned into despair. The Russians put the Korean Communist Party in charge, and it implemented policies backed by brutal oppression. I was 4 years old when my father suddenly appeared at our home to announce, "Conditions are not going to improve here. I cannot have my family live in North Korea. Let us go south." My mother could not help but think hard about my father's unexpected request. While she had been living with the sole purpose of meeting the Lord at the second advent, she actually did not know what she would do when she met him. Her husband's request tore her in two. Would it be better to stay here and walk the unknown path of God's will? Or should I elect to live as an ordinary housewife? She pondered these things and then made up her mind. "I will not succumb to the communist persecution," she said. "I will stay here and continue to walk the path of faith to receive the Lord." My father was dumbfounded, but he left as he had determined to do. My mother was not the only person to remain in the north out of faith that Jesus was going to appear there. Pyongyang was called the Jerusalem of the East, and Christianity was in full bloom there. It was a holy place where churches were making preparations to receive the Messiah at the second coming. Though mainstream Christians said he would come on the clouds, the spirit-led groups in Pyongyang believed he would come in the flesh. My mother, along with my grandmother, believed that completely. They were now attending the New Jesus Church, one of the most fervent churches in the city. My mother resolved to remain in Pyongyang and continue her mission as a member of the faithful household of the Messiah. Though my father did his best to fulfill his duties as husband and father, God's providence broke up our family in the end. Watching him as he left through the gate, I thought, this will not be the last time I see my father. However, I was wrong. That was the last time I saw him. Except for when I was very young, I lived my life without my father, Han Sung-un. Sometimes I would wonder where he was and what he was doing, but I never set out to find him. This was because of the words I had heard from my grandmother and my mother from the time I was a little girl. "Your father is God." I grew up knowing those words to be the unchanging truth. Since I was born as God's daughter, I firmly believed He is my true father. That is why I did not harbor any hurt over my father's departure. I was molded from my conception to be the true mother who would devote her life to God's purposes. I see everything from that perspective: the Japanese colonial rule and Korean War, my childhood full of hardships, my family consisting of my maternal grandmother and mother, the Christian love that enveloped us day and night. I treasure it as a growing period designed by heaven. When all is said and done, my father played an essential role. I later learned that my father dedicated his life to education in South Korea, teaching in more than 16 schools over a period of 40 years and retiring as a principal. He was peacefully taken into God's embrace in the spring of 1978. A long time later, when our unification movement was building its international headquarters in Cheongpyeong Lake, I learned that my father had taught at the Miwon Elementary School in the village of Sorok, a few kilometers from our complex. As I live at this location now, I take it that God's plan was to unite my father and me together in the end.
Thank you, True Mother, for your words and for your sharing with us your heart and your experience of growing up. And especially Joshua and I were highlighting these things, so I know exactly the way I'm going to reflect on that just before our meeting here. So, but I was really moved by mother's mother telling her that she actually was singing la 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 la. That kind of reminded me of True Mother trying to teach our Austrian family when I joined in 1972. Two parents came to visit, and then father asked mother to sing, and she sang Edelweiss. And so the second time around, she was hoping that we could join in, but nobody actually knew the song. It was very, very embarrassing, and she was kind of embarrassed herself. But anyway, she taught us the song. Naturally, after that, everybody learned how to sing Edelweiss. Because the movie had just come out, and not everybody had time to watch the movie. So anyway, that was an interesting experience, and I always have to think about your mother singing Edelweiss to us. So heaven has claimed this child, and your days of power have come to an end. And later on, talking about crushing the head of the serpent. So True Mother's mother had to fight and defend and protect True Mother right from the start when she was born. And it is a spiritual battle that is very, very, fascinating to me. Know exactly that this is what's going on a daily basis. The dark side is still trying to hold on, but True Mother is true to her word and true to her upbringing of crushing and taking off the costume, or what they call the outfit of all these reptiles that are actually angels and need to be brought back to God's original image that they were created in. And true parents are doing this, and we're joining them. So then the next one is I became very serious when she found out about all these stories, why Satan was continuing to try to hurt her and obstruct her path. So this is her life, and she has been experiencing that everywhere she's going, cleaning up this world and giving rebirth to us all. So then Mother speaking about her father playing an essential role, even though, as we learn later, that she grew up in her grandparents' house, but this was all part of the providence. But her father was a man that was raised in a strict Confucian tradition, but he was ahead of his time. So it is very much like two parents. They're very much ahead of their time. And as Milhan yesterday said, when he thinks about True Mother, he thinks she's a second gen or maybe even a third gen. So when Hyo-jung was praying this morning, I had to think about that. That True Mother really knows the heart of the generations to come. So the fact that her father bought high heels for her was kind of shocking to me. I thought it wasn't maybe the greatest thing. It's not so healthy. But anyway, he did that, and that's what kind of give you an idea of how advanced the family is, Two Mothers family. So let's move on further. Okay, here we go. So her father was intensely involved in education and as a teacher, and her mother was intensely involved with her church work. So basically that meant that she was raised, because of that, naturally was raised by her grandparents. So that was in a way also kind of indicative as our, parents are our parents, but then ultimately even through parents, then you go back all the way. Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother is really our original parent. And she grew up naturally with that kind of a concept that God was her father. So I really appreciate that. And it's wonderful to know that mother kept with that relationship. And you can see that the way she functions. She has that personal relationship with God. Okay, let's move on further. And then, so mother knows her mission very clearly, and she firmly believes that God is her true father. So this is why also, she said in another area where it was very easy for her to accept true father, because true father reminded her of her grandfather, and to be married to him. So that was kind of easy for her. And that she also didn't have any feelings of hurt because her father left. And that she was hoping and saying that she was going to meet him again, which then actually physically didn't happen. But she found out that Chongpeng Lake is just a few miles away from where he taught school. So you can see the providence everywhere you look. And I'm sure that's true for each one of us. We can find so many instances and moments where we know that God actually in the spirit world and our ancestors have been working to prepare us for this time. So this is my reflection. And now we're going to go into a breakout room for another 5 minutes. We'll see you when we get back. Welcome back, everybody. I was with Alfonso in the car, but it's kind of dangerous and the connection wasn't very good. His wife was there and his daughter in the back driving the Belvedere. So I was earlier with Tomiko Humitz, but she was cut out of the picture. So I want to ask Tomiko-san if you can give your reflection on the reading.
I was somehow morning disappear. Then this time, our Pastor Dase is very clearly mother's position and very understand. For me, mother very prepare, and at time Jesus and Maria couldn't do, but this time their family grandmother and mother's father and prepare very much. That is very clear. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tomiko-san. Yeah, that is so true. Preparation. Yeah. So let us now go into our 7-minute prayer. Everybody, please unmute yourself and we'll say prayers and raise our voices to heaven. See John. Heavenly Parent, we thank you for allowing us to come together for this morning devotion. A big weekend, Father, with Belvedere, Tombo event, and with Dr. Bishop Keelcamp speaking to us on the Unified Service at Belvedere. We pray for him and his family, for all brothers and sisters who are coming together today, Belvedere, and all the ancestors that are going to be liberated and blessed. But the Parent, I really want to thank you for allowing us to come together as a family in this morning hour. It has gold in it, and to read our True Mother's words. The Parent, I really want to thank you for our True Mother who has been bringing us into her heart, embracing us, allowing us to
align ourselves to you.
share the life experience that she had as a small child, Father, where she was able to be a very happy child.
You made aware
Already, la la la, singing la la la, right in the
I pray that we can have clarity and
Parent,
awareness
thank
over
you.
these things.
I'm sure you had a very
Take advantage of them.
great
Don't take them for granted.
experience yourself,
Gratitude for all that you provide
watching
for
your
us.
daughter
You know, to live
grow up
in
like
a way
that.
that brings you
She's
utmost
firm and
joy,
strong and
inspiration,
determined, and
comfort,
she
salvation.
has inherited
Through
a
our
strong
journey,
tradition
through our
of
efforts, we can
finding Satan and keeping Satan and
joy.
crushing that,
Let's express
moving
all
him
the
out,
gifts you
just
gave
like
us to those
Jesus was
friends.
telling people to get
I
out.
pray that we can erect
And parents,
community
we
of
pray that we can clean this world out and have
all affinities, qualities you share
the
with all
heart,
of us.
the realms of heart, the three
And establish an
kingships,
environment conducive
from the
for
royal
health.
family firmly established in
Extend it
our
beyond
lives. And the
ourselves,
parent,
share with those
pray for each one of my brothers and sisters, for the
extended
Hellers,
communities
for
around us.
Alfonso driving,
And we
for
pray
Johnny,
that we form
the Sonny Born,
community
the
here
Diarra
in New York.
family, the Homitz family, Joshua Godukowski, for Allison, Father, for the Reverend the Green family, especially with the Caribbean ministry, for the
Community in which
for Dylan and his
all seek
mother,
and restore.
his father,
We pray that we can
such a beautiful
cleanse,
the
restore,
Pukovitz family,
restoration of
especially
health.
also
We
for
pray
Joel's health,
that
for his health and for his
establish
faith, knowing that in
peace,
the end,
love, and serenity.
it's going through will make him stronger and allow him to give words of comfort to many
Guidance,
people.
direction,
For Monica Vallejo,
your way,
for the Latino community,
our leadership as
for
well.
Christian
We
Seca,
pray that we'll be
behind the scenes and the Blessed family matching system, Father, and pray for
at this time.
incredible wisdom he shares with our brothers and
Inspiration.
sisters. For Tomiko-san's family, for the whole Great Hall family, pray for Miles' family,
Receive
and for the
his message.
barrels for and
Welcome to
for the
the
Mayer
Mayer
family, way back
whole
in history. I pray
human
for
life.
the Kuawahara, Dawn,
Teach us
Kuawahara family, Mika, and especially also I pray for the Moore family, and for the Kuawahara, the Cake, the White family, and the Apuki family. Heavenly Parents, pray that you please bless each one of my brothers and sisters. What a wonderful weekend today, and everybody be healthy. Everybody's traveling, Father. Pray for Damien Dunk, especially now with true mother, no time spending time. Pray that you please bless each one of my brothers and sisters, accomplish their responsibility today, and apply the knowledge and experience, Father, to communicate well, that we can talk to each other, keep the communication going, Father, and work things out that we need to work out, can keep our own position, really know who we are, Father. We are chosen by you, Father, to promote this providence of reservation in the last moments of history, Father. Father, we can put our antennas high, we can anticipate what's going to happen next, and we pray, Father, also for all the moments that we have a chance to give sacrifice, so there's going to be no accidents, especially when you drive. I pray, Father, for the guardian angels, protect our brothers and sisters, to help them, Father, to make it through the day. Please bless each one of my elder brothers and sisters, especially who are struggling with all kinds of health issues. But Sonny Bourne, especially, Father, to keep up the fight, to restore it, Father. Pray for all the elder brothers and sisters in our community. Pray that the younger ones can make good use of their time. Parent, that they can really understand their own self well, just like Yojo, who really has a direct connection with you in such a personal, wonderful way. This now, and we put this in God's name, Sebastian, Melty, Katie Hoimer, and ask you a blessing upon and protection. And Psalm 91, name Sebastian, Melty, Katie Hoimer. Bless on the family.
Jew.
Thank you, Joshua. Please have a blessed day and a blessed Sunday tomorrow. And let's embrace Reverend Bishop Dr. Ki-Hun Kim. If you're there in person or if you're on the Zoom, please let's give him a wonderful welcome. And let's think about our leader, Damien Dunkley, who's spending time with True Mother still, and also Nakimi-san from our region here. And let's go follow our hearts and our original mind to greet everybody that we meet. Be the first ones to smile at them and to say hi to them. Don't wait for the other person. Just be proactive. All right? God bless you, and thank you very much, and have a wonderful weekend. See you next time, tomorrow. Hi, Joel. God bless you.
Thank
Bless
you.
Have a great, amazing day.
Bye, guys. Have a great day.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Joshua. Say hi to Milhan for me, please. Thank you.